Alright, here we are. Another tasting. This is the Hoppy Rye Ale. Hopefully it's carbonated. I say this every time because it's the first time I'm opening this. Yes. Wow, that's actually the clearest beer I've had in a very long time. Especially not out of the keg. This is full-on bottle conditioned. Alright, so I'm going to link the recipe below to my blog. If it's not linked, it's because I haven't posted the blog yet, but stay tuned because it'll be there shortly. This was a recipe I got based off of the session, one of the podcasts. Block 15 was the brewery, and they're up in Oregon. Essentially, the recipe is 70% 2-row and 20% rye malt and a dash of crop 3, about 0.5%, and that's just for a little blush in the cheek. And the hops are Crystal, Cascade Centennial, and Columbus, and I stacked every hop addition all the way down from 60 to 10 to 2 minutes. And Cascade and Centennial were both at 2 minutes. Columbus was at 60 and Crystal was at 10 minutes. And then I dry hopped with Cascade and Centennial. And I've been playing with doing hops that way, just doing a new hop at every edition. I did another IPA with a common yeast strain recently, just to play with how hops work in beer and to play with different hop varieties and to break up the routine of making a beer the same way every single time. And the yeast I used was USO5. So the finishing gravity, I'm assuming, was 1010. If that's the case, then it would be at around 5% beer, about 57, 60 IBUs, and about 8 SRM, which is about right. This isn't too out of the range for the color of an IPA or any sort of lighter ale. Not bad. There's almost a little bit of a pepperiness to it, which is kind of odd, but that would be that rye, wouldn't it? So that makes total sense. Yeah, it's really coming through. Wow, I forgot that I made a rye ale for a second. Yeah, it's really coming through there, but the nose is nice. I mean, it has that pepperiness, but there's like Cascade Centennials coming through. And some of the other early additions. Nice clean aroma on it. I'm not getting any off flavor in the smell. Nice sort of grainy nose profile to it, like that nice bready almost, with that little dash of hops coming through for sure. It's definitely in there. Yeah, nice dry hop. That's pretty nice actually. Yeah, that rye is really hitting there. 20% is a fair amount, and I never really played with it before. I've used it in some batches in small doses. I think I made a rye IPA a while ago, but it was not good at all. It was really sweet. This isn't sweet at all. It's actually pretty dry. So I'll probably attenuate it down pretty nicely, which is good. I think using Columbus hops early in the boil was the right way to go, because that dankiness works well with that peppery. If I want something super fruity, super bright, or even super piney, I don't know if it would work. I mean, maybe piney would work. But yeah, anything super citrusy or fruity might be a little odd for a bitter edition. But having this Cascade Centennial right at the end there, I think was a nice little touch to kind of balance it out a bit. It is a rye ale. I understand that. I dialed back the rye. I know I was going for the rye. I want the rye in there. I really want to see what it imparted. In hindsight, I'd probably dial back to 15%, just to get a little more of the subtlety of it rather than the explosion of it, because it's really coming through. I did cold crash this for 4 or 5 days, I believe, before I put the dry hops in. I think that's really key. I wasn't doing that for a while. I was just throwing dry hops in warm before cold crashing, and then I'd cold crash, or then I'd put it in the keg, which would cold crash naturally in the keg. And then I'd dry hop in the keg. But for this, I cold crashed, then added dry hops, then brought it back to around 60 degrees Fahrenheit for another 5 days or 7 days in that range. Then I bottled it, so then went back cold again. I'm a little hesitant to go from really cold, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way back to 65, and then back down to 40. It worked for this one, and what I might do is just play with dry hop, cold crash it, and then maybe go up to 50 degrees, or keep it at 40 degrees while I dry hop, and then just bottle from there. So, yeah, I'm happy with this, and till next time, happy brewing.